Hello, good afternoon everyone. Welcome back to Human Resource Magister Management class. We are from Group 1 with me, Tria Francisca, and Sinta Fitrihani, Ririn Wulandari, Sri Karyono, Hafiz, Elina Unting Aritmatika. Our lecturer is Dr. Nova Mardiana. We are gonna discuss about employee compensation and benefits, which is establishing a pay structure, recognizing employee contribution with pay, and also providing employee benefits. Chapter 12. Establishing a pay structure. Introduction. Pay is a powerful tool for meeting the organization goals and a major costs. Pay has a large impact on employee attitudes and behavior. It influences the kind of people who are attracted to or remain with the organization. Employees attach great importance to pay decisions when they evaluate their relationship with their employer. Decision about pay. Job structure. Relative pay for different jobs within the organization pay level. Next, pay level. Average amount the organization pay for a particular jobs. Next to pay structure. Pay policy resulting for job structure and pay level decision. Legal requirement for pay. First, equal employment opportunity. 2. Minimum wage. 3. Overtime. 4. Prevalent wage. Equal employment opportunity. Employers mustn't base difference in pay on an employee age, sex, race, or other protected status. Any difference in pay must be taught to such business-related consideration as jobs responsibility or performance. The goal is for employers to provide equal pay for equal works. Minimum wage. Minimum wage is the lowest amount that employers may pay under federal or state law, set as an amount of pay per hour. Fair Labor Standard Act, or FLSA, is federal law that establishes a minimum wage and requirement for overtime pay and child labor. Overtime. Overtime rate under FLSA is 1.5 times employees' usual hourly rate, including any bonus and piece rate payments. Exempt employees, managers, outside salespeople, and other employees not covered by FLSA requirement for overtime pay. Non-exempt employees, employees covered by FLSA requirement for overtime pay. Prevailing wage. 2 federal law govern pay policies of federal contractor. 1. David Bacon, Act of 1931. 2. Wells-Willey Public Contract, Act of 1936. Under these two laws, federal contractor must pay their employees at rate at least equal to the prevailing wage in the area. Pay level. Deciding what to pay. First, pay at rate set by market. Second, pay at rate above market. Third, pay at rate below market. Job structure, relative value of jobs. Job evaluation, administrative procedure for measuring relative internal worth of the organization jobs. Compensable factor, 5 characteristics of a job that the organization value and chooses to pay for. 1. Experience. 2. Education. 3. Complexity. 4. Working condition. 5. Responsibility.
Job structure defining key jobs. Jobs that have relatively stable content and are common among many organizations. Organizations can make the process of creating the job and pay structures more practical by defining key jobs. Research for creating the pay structure is limited to key jobs that play a significant role in the organization. To build pay structure, we will start from job evaluation and then job structure and then define key jobs. The management make a pay survey and then make a pay policy line and then making decision to pay rates pay grades, pay ranks, and then we have pay structures. In condition of pay rates, organization obtain pay survey data for its key job. Pay policy line is established, and then pay rate for non-key jobs are then determined. Pay ranks. Pay rank is a set of possible pay rates defined by minimum, maximum, and midpoint of pay for employees holding a particular job or a job within a particular pay grade. We have two pay ranks. That one's red circle rate is a pay at a rate that falls above pay rank for the job, and green circle rate pay at a rate that falls below pay rank for the job. Pay differential. Pay differential is an adjustment to a pay rate to reflect difference in working condition or labor markets. Many businesses in the US provide pay differential based on geographic location. The most common approach is to move an employee higher in the pay structure to compensate for higher living costs. We have two alternatives to job-based pay. At once, the layering and skill-based pay system. The layering is a reducing number of levels in organization job structure. More assignments are combined into a single layer called broadbands. More emphasis on acquiring experience rather than promotion. On skill-based pay system, pay structure that set pay according to employees' levels of skills or knowledge and what they are capable of doing. And appropriate where changing technology requires employees to continually widen and deepen their knowledge. Pay structure and actual pay. Pay structure represent organization's policy. However, what the organization actually does may be different. Human resources should compare actual pay to pay structure, making sure that policies and practices is matched. Comparison is the common way to do this.
And next I will present to you about Chapter 12, Recognizing Employee Contribution with Pay. Incentive pay. Incentive pay, form of pay linked to an employee's performance as an individual, group member, or organization member. And then, incentive pay is influential because the amount paid is linked to certain preferred behavior or outcomes. And then, for incentive to pay, to motivate employees to contribute to the organization's success, pay plans must be well designed. Effective incentive pay plans meet the following requirement. The first, performance measures are linked to the organization goals. 2. Employees believe that can meet performance standard. 3. Organization give employees the resources they need to meet their goal. 4. Employees value then rewards given. 5. Employees believe the reward system is fair. 6. Pay plan takes into account that employees may ignore end goals that are not rewarded. Pay for individual performance. Point 1. Piecework rates. 2. Standard hour plans. 3. Merit pay. 4. individual business. And fifth, sales commissions. Pay for individual performance, piecework rates. Piecework rate, a wage based on the amount workers produce. Strike piecework plan, an incentive pay in which the employers pay the same rate per piece, no matter how much the worker produce. Differential piece of rates. Incentive pay in which the piece rate is higher when a greater amount is produced. Pay for individual performance, standard hour plan and merit pay. Standard hour plan, an incentive plan to pay workers extra for work done in less than a preset standard time. These plans are much like place work plan. They encourage employees to work as fast as they can, but not necessarily to care about quality or service. In a merit pay, a system of linked pay to increase the rating of a performance scale. They make use of merit increase grid. The system gave lowest paid best performance the biggest pay increase. Pay for individual performance. Performance bonus. Performance bonus are not rolled into base pay. The employee must re-earn them during each performance period. Sometimes the bonus is a one-time reward. Bonus may also be linked to objective performance measures rather than subjective ratings. Pay for individual performance. Sales commission. Commission is incentive pay calculated as a percentage of sales. Some earn a commission in addition to be a base salary. Strike commission plan. Some earn only commission. Some earn no commission at all, but a strike or salary. And there is three pay for group performance. The first, gain sharing. Second, bonus, and third, team reward. Pay for group performance. Gain sharing. Gain sharing is a group incentive program that measures improvement in productivity and effectiveness and distribute a portion of each to employee. Address challenge of identifying appropriate performance measures for complex jobs. Free employees to determine how to improve their own and their group's performance. Pay for group performance, group bonus, and team awards. In a group bonus for group performance tend to be for a smaller work group. This bonus rewards the member of a group of attaining a specific goal. It's usually measured in terms of physical output. In team rewards, similar to group bonus, but more likely to use a broad range on performance measure. There is cost saving, successful completion on a project, and meeting deadline.
The next chapter is about providing employee benefits. Role of employee benefits. Benefit packages are more complex than pay structure, making them harder for employees to understand and appreciate. The important role of benefit is one reason that benefits are subject to government regulation. Legally request benefit and tax law can make benefit favorable. Benefit required by law. There is so many benefits the employee can get by law. There are social security, unemployment insurance, workers' compensation insurance, family and medical leave, and then health care. Benefit required by law consists of paid leave, group insurance, retirement plans, family-friendly benefits, and other quality of work-life benefits. The optional benefits program of group insurance are medical insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, and then long-term care insurance.
Optional benefits programs. Family-friendly benefits. First, family leave, and then childcare benefits, and then college saving plans and elder care. Next, legal requirements for employee benefits. First, benefits required by law, tax treatment of benefits, anti-discrimination laws, and accounting requirements. Selecting employee benefits. Decision about which benefits to offer should take into account. First, organization goals, objective, and budget. And then expectation of the organization, current employees, and potential future required. An organization that doesn't offer expected benefits will have difficulty attracting and keeping employees. Optional benefits programs. Other quality of work-life benefits. First, subsidized cafeterias, and then on-site health care services, moving and relaxation expenses, employee discount on product, and employee buying service, and then tuition reimbursement, on-site fitness center, on-site dry cleaning services, and dues for professional organization, off-site company recreation area, and pet service. The last, communicating benefits to employees. First, organization must communicate benefit information to employees so that they will appreciate the value of their benefits. This is essential so that benefits can achieve their objective of attracting, motivating, and retaining employees. And then, employees are interested in their benefits, and they need a great deal of detailed information to take advantage of benefit. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.